When you're a lawyer on trial, there are 3 times when you get to testify. That's the opening, the cross, and the closing. Now, doing the closing argument is one of the most exciting times for a trial lawyer. Closing is where you put all the evidence together for the jury, and it's also where you get to argue to the jury and explain to the jury what inferences they should draw and what conclusions they should draw from the evidence. What I typically do as part of my closing is I put together a PowerPoint. The PowerPoint is going to have various snippets of testimony and evidence from the case. And as I'm going through the closing, I'm going to have somebody who clicks through the PowerPoint and is able to show the jury exactly what I'm talking about. So if I'm talking about a document, I want the jury to see that document on the PowerPoint. If I'm talking about what a witness testified to, I want the jury to see that testimony. It's important in your closing argument that you show the jury what you want the jury to see, rather than merely telling the jury what you want it to hear. You also want to put together some type of theme about the case. Don't be cheesy, don't be over the top, but if you can put something together that makes the evidence make sense in a way that is favorable to your side, the jury will appreciate that and they'll have better recall of the evidence and the arguments that you present. But it's also important to recognize the weaknesses of your case in the closing. This is all about maintaining credibility with the jury. You can't just ignore the weaknesses in your case. You need to confront them head on. You need to explain to the jury why you should still win despite those weaknesses. If you've gone through a trial and perhaps the testimony of your client didn't go as well as you had hoped, or there was some development in the trial that didn't go your way, you need to acknowledge that to the jury. I often find it useful to make some type of very light, somewhat deprecating joke, either about myself or about my client to the jury. You can even acknowledge to the jury that what you're saying, your client may not like. But this brings a level of authenticity to your presentation, and it tells the jury that you're focused not just on your case, but on what went wrong and why you should still win despite those shortcomings.